He's in jail right now.
He's not doing well at all, and depression is setting in.
You're entitled to have whoever you want to visit you when you're in jail, as long as they're on the list.
Chris is alone in his cell for 23 hours a day.
I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here.
He never once cried.
Could one of those visitors be someone that he had an affair with?
He's checked on every 5 or 10 minutes.
She was my closest best friend.
After confessed family killer Chris Watts was sentenced to 5 life terms, the immediate question became, well, where will he go next? It seems that we now know the answer to that question. CNN affiliate WITI reporting that Watts is being held at the Dodge Correctional Institute in Waupun, Wisconsin. That's about 70 miles from Milwaukee. The Department of Corrections describes it as an intake facility for male inmates before they are transferred to the prison while they will serve out the rest of their sentence.
Even after we find a routine, the echoes and atmosphere will get to you. Even if we finally get comfortable, one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the man looking back at you. Inmates have their good and bad days. Sometimes you want to break down, but you know the sharks will surface. Replaying the events that land an inmate to a life with no parole will drive him mad. Coming up on 6 years, and I'm sure Chris regrets ever laying eyes on Nicole. Welcome back. Please like and subscribe as we analyze the prison system. Quite a few of you asked about the politics in prison. We also take a look at neighbor Nate's security cam footage. Interesting revelations. Today, we look at prison politics, the intricate web of power dynamics and social hierarchies within correctional facilities play a significant role in shaping the lives of incarcerated individuals. This complex system influences daily interactions, personal safety, and the overall order within prisons. Understanding prison politics requires an exploration of its origins, key players, mechanisms of control, and the impact on both inmates and the broader prison system. Prison politics have evolved over the years, shaped by various cultural, historical, and sociological factors. The hierarchical structures that exist in modern prisons can be traced back to early penal institutions where order was maintained through informal systems of governance among inmates. Over time, these systems became more organized and institutionalized, reflecting the broader social and political landscapes outside prison walls. Key players in prison politics are primarily driven by inmate groups, often organized along racial, ethnic, and gang affiliation. Gangs are arguably the most influential entities in prison politics. They provide a sense of identity, protection, and resources to their members. Prominent prison gangs such as the Aryan Brotherhood, the Mexican Mafia, and the Black Guerrilla family wield considerable power, often extending their influence beyond prison walls. Shot callers are the leaders within the inmate population, often gang leaders or highly respected individuals. Shot callers make critical decisions regarding group activities, conflict resolutions, and enforcement of rules. Their authority is seldom challenged due to their strategic importance and the consequences of defiance. Prison staff, while not directly involved in inmate politics, prison staff, including guard and administrators, play a crucial role in shaping the environment where these dynamics unfold. Their interactions with inmates, policies, and enforcement practices can either exacerbate or mitigate tensions within the prison. Prison politics operate through various mechanisms of control and ensure compliance and maintain order within the inmate population. These mechanisms include violence and intimidation. Physical force and threats are primarily used to assert dominance and enforce rules. Inmates who defy established order or betray their groups often face severe punishment, which serves as a deterrent to others. Economic control over resources such as commissary, items, drugs, and contraband is another significant aspect of prison politics. Inmates with access to these resources can leverage them to gain loyalty, manipulate others, and strengthen their power base. Communication is vital in prison politics. Information about rival gangs, planned activities, and internal disputes is carefully monitored and strategically used. Inmates often develop sophisticated networks to share intelligence and coordinate actions. It has an impact on inmates. The effects of prison politics on inmates are profound and multifaceted. On an individual level, the pressure to align with the group for protection can limit personal freedom and lead to involvement in criminal activities. The constant threat of violence and the need to navigate complex social dynamics create a stressful and often dangerous environment. Inmates with no prior gang affiliation may feel compelled to join for survival, altering their identities and potentially extending their criminal behavior beyond incarceration. Additionally, the rigid social structures can stifle rehabilitation efforts, as the need to conform to group norms often conflicts with personal growth and reform. Prison politics significantly affect the overall functioning of correctional facilities. The presence of powerful inmate groups and the potential for violence necessitate heightened security measures and increased vigilance from prison staff. This in turn can strain resources and limit the ability of prison administrations to focus on rehabilitation and reintegration programs. The adversarial nature of inmate dynamics also complicates management strategies. Efforts to separate rival factions, control contraband, and prevent violence require sophisticated intelligence gathering and constant adaptation. The presence of organized groups can lead to large-scale disruptions, such as riots and coordinated attacks, posing significant challenges to maintaining order, which is why inmates such as Chris Watts isn't allowed to mix with the general population. He is considered a high-profile inmate who deleted his children, and putting him around other inmates will compromise his safety. In the complex and often brutal environment of prison life, inmates convicted of crimes against children face significant danger. This vulnerability stems from a combination of factors, including the nature of their offenses, the social dynamics within the prison. Understanding these factors requires an exploration of prison culture, the psychology of inmates, and the overreaching societal values that permeate these institutions. Crimes against children are widely regarded as particularly heinous. The societal consensus is rooted in a fundamental protective instinct toward children, who are seen as innocent and vulnerable. Offenses such as child abuse or exploitation are considered egregious violations of this innocence. This societal contempt for such crimes extends into the prison system, where inmates often harbor intense animosity towards those who harm children, but is also amplified within the prison system, where certain moral codes are rigidly enforced by the inmate population. Inmates long to be free again so they could hug their children or girlfriends, mothers, wives. So when an inmate such as Watts comes in wearing that jacket, the prison's general population will visualize their own wives and kids and begin to implement the crimes to their own lives. Correctional officers with children the same age as Bella and Celeste will think of their own babies every time they interact with inmates who harm children. The thought of anyone harming their children will enrage inmates and COs. The whispers of inmate Watts will get louder for those with nothing to lose. COs will loosen up over time, might even place a dangerous inmate near inmates who harm children. Some correctional officers enjoy playing God. As time goes on, inmates will sometimes confide in each other. As humans, we long for companionship, someone to call a friend. Seasoned inmates know better. There's no such thing as loyalty in the penitentiary. Every single inmate's goal is to get the hell out of there. Inmates with long sentences will do anything to get out, including getting a cut in time for information. Everything is worth something in prison, and a young, hungry DA looking to make a name for his or herself would be more than willing to listen to what we have to tell. Career criminals will sometimes drop dimes for a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Dan Boyle with the Will County District Attorney's Office.
I was given this number about the Chris Watts case that happened back in 2018. I was in prison with Chris twice at Dodge, and over the time that I spent with him, he confided in me, and he said that his mistress was still in contact with him, and that she was involved in the of his family, and that she was never investigated, and he was trying to protect her.
I'm just writing this down.
Okay. Do I, she, the girls, and he, and then.
She did all three of them.
No, he put his wife and she put his daughters because they felt that since Cece and Celeste, or Bella and Cece was Chris's kids, that he would have a harder time to kill them. So that's why she was the one that killed the little girls and he coached them.
How was she contacting, letters or phone?
Letters.
Letters?
Yeah. They were in
I do not think that this man just snapped. I don't think that he just met some fucking amazing woman and he was just gonna try to fucking murder his family and then think that I was okay with, like...
What her involvement was?
She, the girls, and he killed Shanann.
I mean, and that's the part, for me, just like, on my personal level, outside of everything that is happening, that is gonna affect me long term. It's like, you know, I'm gonna wake up every day and know that, like, this mom and her unborn child and these two little girls are not around anymore, and it breaks my heart. It is, oh my god. And then I have to think about, like, the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like, all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be, like, slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long that's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years.
What was this when he told you this?
Well, I just got out in February, and I got to Dodge this last time in September. And it was that time that he told me that he was in contact with her and told me the roles that she played and that she, the girls in need, and that he was protecting her so she wouldn't go to prison.
Okay. Well, I will. No, is this a good number to call you back? We need to talk to you again.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you know what's going to happen, though, with it?
No, I mean, I have no idea yet.
Okay. Yeah, can you just, if anybody needs to call me.
Understand that. You know, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just like, I didn't know. Like, he's so disgusting. I'm so ashamed of him and everything. And I just, oh, those little girls. They're so little. They're so little.
We talked a little bit earlier about getting some help for these things, and we can provide that.
Okay.
At really no cost. Through the state.
One more thing. We just want to make sure there's resolution.
Absolutely.
That's why we come to you guys to pound this.
And
pound it down.
Hey,
I'm
sorry that you're talking again today. I really am. I don't want to put you through any more trauma than you've already been through. There is reasons for everything that we're doing today and what occurred. And I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry. These are not things that we like to do twice. It's the same thing with other types of victims from other crimes. We want to do it once and we want to be done. Unfortunately, we didn't know yesterday what we know today. And that's why we're here, because we need this video. And I am sorry, because I know it's hard to talk about it. But
it's so sad, and she's pregnant.
And, you know, on our end, we didn't.
They're so cute. They're so little. Like, wow. Why? How? I don't even understand how you could, like, bring yourself to do that to somebody who's, like, that big.
Man, that's crazy. I couldn't make that out before. And I seen this footage before. I can see her ear and ponytail. In my opinion, that's definitely her. Look, I know it's dark. Her behavior was very deceptive. The vague response to phone conversations with Chris. NK and her father jumped out in front of this That's why Dwayne Kessinger told them to pound it down until there's nothing left. In other words, this better not come back to us. She was terrified during the investigation. All the deleted texts, the stalking, the manipulation. Her phone pinged in Frederick that morning. That woman has had issues for a long time. Keep falling through these rabbit holes, and I know it pisses some people off. This is a major reason YouTubers continue to probe the case. Not gonna lie though, before this video I wasn't sure on how deep her involvement. I was leaning towards maybe she was just in his head and manipulated him into doing what he did, which is still a conspiracy that can get you a life sentence. I can make out her ponytail and the coloration of her ear in that footage. It doesn't change anything. Even if she came forward and confessed, it wouldn't change Chris's sentence. He is still where he belongs. She would catch 2 bodies in 1 conspiracy, and his charges would change to 1 body in 2 conspiracies, and the termination of her pregnancy. And it would still equal out to a life with no parole. Dwayne Kessinger said, "Just want to make sure there's resolution. That's why we come to you guys." She threw Chris under the bus. NK was a very jealous girlfriend who controlled Chris, and she played him. Is she still in contact with him? Maybe. It's not very hard to communicate with an inmate, even with a no contact order. We reap what we sow. They say karma's a bee. Prison guards have wives and kids. Inmates have wives and kids. Some of them who will never watch their kids grow up. I'm pretty sure Inmate Watts lives in fear now. I won't be surprised if he offs himself, or some prison guard sets him up. The one thing that might keep Chris's spirits up are the fan mail he receives. However, I'm sure prison guards are allowing him to read hate mail too. I guarantee at least once a day, Inmate Watts is reminded by someone that karma awaits him. Depression among inmates can be hard to deal with. Some inmates won't even leave their cell for days. It affects a large proportion of the incarcerated population. Chris Watts is doing hard time. He's never been to prison. Overcrowding, violence, lack of privacy, and the same routine. These conditions can exacerbate feelings of helplessness and despair. I'm sure the prison shrink is regularly screening Chris Watts. Inmate Watts is safe today because his name is still circulating in the media. The Watts case is still highly talked about, reminding the warden that he still has a job to do, and that's keeping inmates in protected confinement protected. Meanwhile, COs are pocketing his items: combs, hair after a barber, drawings, letters. They know there's a market for high-profile offender items. Some guards are probably even friends with Chris by now, getting him to sign something of theirs. I know it sounds sick, but it's real. It's called murderbelia. But rest assured, people will move on to other cases. The fan mail will die down, his parents will pass on, and his name will be forgotten.
Folks are here to pick up the dog.
Okay. I'm just trying to catch her first. Just keep her outside.
Copy. So it's going to be a few minutes. They're trying to catch that dog. So.
Is it possible to get like food and all that kind of stuff? I know.
Probably not. I mean,
They're not.
no, it's not going to happen. I can't.
If possible, he has a black blanket. It's usually in the couch.
He's being really uncooperative. So
Not
we're
sure.
going to be lucky to get him in the kennel and out the door at this point. So I know that's not the best news, but for right now, we can at least get him out. Meanwhile, just stay here. Like I stopped you guys. Can't have anybody going past the property line, so just hang. We'll get him to you, okay?
Dispatch 1039. Taking us on it. 379 will be entering the east garage inquiry. Anyway.
She's right there. This vehicle right here.
Draw one time. Taking them at least. Their friends are taking them.
They were asking about.
Dieter is safe and sound, getting all the love he deserves in North Carolina by Shanann's family. I believe they even had another dog there, so Dieter has a companion now. As far as NK, what I say or believe in my content is only my opinion. Please do not go and harass anyone. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But I'll leave NK with a poem. In the dance of time, unseen threads weave. Every action a ripple, a silent reprieve. Kindness given returns in kind. Wrongs committed, justice you'll find. Echoes of deeds and whispers they flow. Seeds of intention, in shadows they grow. Fortunes shift with turn of fate. Balancing scales, it's never too late. Life's wheel spins in circles tight, bringing darkness, then gifting light. In karma's embrace, all souls entwine, crafting destinies, divine design.